Good afternoon, my name's Marc Sumner. I'm the host of the Channel Chat podcast show, and today I have the pleasure of Johnny Ellis, the EMEA Channel Director at Arctic Wolf, in the studio. How are we doing, Johnny?
Thank you, Mark. Very pleased to be here. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, Johnny. And you've actually come quite a long way, Johnny, haven't you? Did you drive down today?
No, I drove down last night. You can't allow for legislations in this traffic and the roads in the UK.
Oh, good. Well, tardiness shouldn't be an option either.
Not at all.
You know, I'm glad that you're on time. Johnny, for the listeners that don't know you and a bit about your background, can you sort of give us a bit about your background and how you come about getting into sales?
Sure. Well, it was quite a bizarre scenario, to be honest with you, because I wanted to be a professional golfer. So all my life, I got down to scratch handicap. I played for Yorkshire schoolboys, England schoolboys, and I had a really good career. And I actually had a opportunity to go to America to university. But for all sorts of reasons, I decided, no, it just didn't work out. And I was playing golf one day with this guy, and he said to me, "What do you do for a living?" And I said, "Well, nothing really." I said, "What do you do?" He said, "I have a technology business. We do PDP to Unix conversions and all the training that goes with it." Well, after I'd picked myself up off the floor and tried to understand what the hell he was talking about, I actually went for an interview and I got the job. What I didn't realise was the first part of the role was collecting the sandwiches for the training courses for the people who were trying to learn about Unix. But it was an amazing career opportunity. It was called Kernel Technology. The guy, unfortunately, is no longer with us, Mike Briarcliffe, a industry channel guru that everybody would have known. And he started me off in the IT business. We moved into selling IT, software, Uniplex, Infomix. And in the early 90s, I started my own business, Open Computing. And just after the millennium, merged it with PSL to become Open PSL, which we sold to Bell Micro. So quite an interesting journey to get to about 2004.
So you had no plan to go into IT at all. You wouldn't be a golf pro.
I wanted to be a golf, not so much a pro, but I wanted to be on the tour. You know, that was always my wanting to. And interestingly enough, my golfing partner at school was Colin Montgomery.
Really?
100%.
That'd have been a good career if you'd have flooded him. He's made a few quid.
That would have been an amazing opportunity. And obviously he did that thing. He went to Houston Baptist University and he had a great career, and he's been an amazing golfer for, 40, 50 years.
So you sort of fell into IT. What made you then start your own business?
Well, the reality was the business they had folded. So they had Kernel Technology, which they sold to FI International, and their distribution type of business, which was around Altos and Prime and Unisys, folded. And I just found myself in a position whereby I knew the customers, I knew what I was doing. So a few of us from the old business started Open Computing.
And what did Open Computing do?
So Open Computing was a distributor. What it did predominantly in the beginning was it bought from other distributors to sell to the partners, because we had a niche business. Right. So we could really do well. But we also then ended up with our own contracts with SCO, with Uniplex, with Infomix. It was a software and services training distributor. But as they all do, it's evangelized into selling hardware, into some networking products. And, after, 9 or 10 years, we had a 40, 50 million pound business, which we merged, as I said, or sold to PSL, Mike Contoft, John Toll, in just after the millennium.
John Toll, yeah. And after you sold it, what was your plan? What were you thinking to do?
Well, they sold it into Bell, and part of it was I had some shares in Bell, and I had an opportunity to be bigger and wider into the Bell, or Bell Micro family.
The Ex-Ideal hardware.
Ex-Ideal hardware, yes. So, and that carried on for a few years. And then after about 3 or 4 years, I wasn't required anymore. So that was that.
And for the listeners out there who are wondering, right, I've joined an organisation, I'd love to get up to the career ladder, I'd like to get up to the really top in sales, which, let's be honest, is a sales director role. What advice would you give to those sort of people that are starting their career to get to emulate what you've done?
Well, work hard, know your partners, don't lie. The key to this is if you don't know the answer, just say. Not everybody knows the answer, and often the people who are asking you don't know the answer either. But the benefit is to be honest, to be open, and to deliver on what you say. So if you don't know, find somebody who does. Go back to them and deliver that message.
Johnny, a lot of people have come on the show and they've talked about mentors. and mentoring people. When you were sort of looking at your career at Arrow, did you have mentors that you would go to for advice?
Yeah, we had a mentor program, and Steve Pearce was a good mentor. He put us onto a outside mentor, Peter Wilkinson's wife, and she did some coaching for us and some analysis and some drive about how we would succeed inside an organisation. Obviously, in big US businesses, they have mentor programs. It's often done by the Workday. Everybody has Workday now. That's a whole separate subject around monitoring your performance, understanding what your goals are, understanding what your achievement is and what you want or don't want in life, what your career aspirations are. And I think mentoring is extremely, extremely important. And I've done a lot of that in my career. And I think, I'm really pleased with some of the people I've mentored.
Yeah, because you mentioned before before the show, a lot of people that have worked for you have gone on to have their own businesses.
Amazing, yes. In the year, in the open computing days, it's quite, we found young, hungry people who wanted to work. They had no idea of the IT industry. They didn't really know what you were talking about. Some people came on the bus. Some people came with cars that left oil marks and needed a jump start on the way out. But there's a nucleus of people, probably up to about 10 people, who've gone on to have a fantastic career, either with big organisations, have their own business, resellers, distribution businesses, and I'm proud and privileged to have been. Have the ability to work with those guys and see how well they flourished.
So you had a long career in distribution, and then you took the leap to go and work for a vendor, the holy grail, as people tell me now, to go to a vendor. So tell me who Arctic Wolf are.
So Arctic Wolf are a security operations business. They have their own platform, and it's a service around cybersecurity. Our mission is to end cyber risk. We sell our service in 3 different ways: as a resale, as a 3-year contract with a resale, MSP Plus, or as MSP opportunity. Actually, there's a 4th way, or referral. So if some guys don't want to actually get involved in it, they can refer it and get some margin that way.
And what inspired you to make the move from distribution to vendor? Because you'd been in distribution a long time. You're established in that market, and yet you went
very much so. But I think distribution was changing. I think as product became more as a service. I personally found it harder and harder to make a difference. My entrepreneurial skills became less wanted, less needed, less available, because it was very structured. And I think the market, I was due for a change. I think the management side of distribution that I was in was changing, and I think we decided that it was time for me to move on.